Attention on deck!
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits. If you don't do your job, I'll shoot you. Do you get me?
We get you, sir!
Sure.
Welcome to the Roughnecks.
Wild roughnecks! Hoorah!
Nerd is the new sexy.
Hello everyone, this is Wyldfyre 1. You're once again listening to Nerds the New Sexy. At least I hope you know you're listening to Nerds the New Sexy. With me today is...
Grizzly McBee, what's up, y'all?
And with me also is...
I'm back, bitches. It's Gambit.
You guys are listening to episode 71 of Nerds the New Sexy. Today's topic is what, Grizzly?
Starship Troopers.
If you guys didn't get from the opening, yes, Starship Troopers, and there are, what, there's a lot of movies. And only some of them are good, right?
Well, I mean, only one of them is good.
Only one of them is, like, worth remembering forever, but yeah.
And then they made a bunch of other ones after that.
Yeah. Oh, Rico. My fucking hero.
Yeah, Rico,
Yeah, that's my fucking hero. That's the man. But anyway.
Oh, my favorite character was Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris for the win.
The brainy dude. He just couldn't escape that fucking role, could he? He was a smart fucking doctor.
Go Bug Mom.
Go Bug Mom.
Go Bug Mom, Cyrano. Yeah, no, it's good. Starship Troopers is super iconic because, well, we'll get into it. I mean, who wants to start getting into it? But I mean,
it is iconic. The movie. I remember when the movie came out. That was probably at that point one of the better sci-fi movies since Alien.
Probably one of the best sci-fi movies. Okay, so originally, for a little known fun fact about that, that's actually a book. And the book was actually written by a military man, or ex-military man. Oh, and that's why there's this great dichotomy of old school military tactics with new school views, which are really, really good, actually, really well done. And when I mean by views, I mean like, obviously they're male and female in the military. They're both looked at as equals, but not only are they looked at as equals, but they bunk together, they house together, and they shower together, which for a teenage boy watching his first sci-fi movies, a whole shower scene with titties was just well written.
Oh, that was spank bank material. That was just spank bank material. I agree. I know that I was like, oh, I'm going to hold on to this for later.
We're talking boobs, Wild, not all the guys' butts.
Oh, why you got to fucking ruin it for me?
Starship Troopers' butts drive me nuts.
But seriously, all those boobs, man, it was like, as a teenage boy, it was a very magical moment. And, you know, it was almost like watching, what was one of those movies at the time, like watching Porky's, you know what I mean? There was so many titties in that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was so well. I mean, it was a great scene, but yeah, no, so it was really well done. Like that dichotomy between just hardcore militant people with these new Earth values. Because that's another thing too. Is there's no America, there's no countries. It's Earth.
Yeah, it's Earth.
We've conquered space travel. We now are space traveling around. There's not bipedal, and that's another thing that I love about it too. Is that there's not these bi-humanoid creatures like Star Trek or Star Wars, where everybody's kind of 2 legs, 2 arms. Whatever. No,
these are point. Yeah, it was its own entity. It didn't go off of other shit like Star Wars and Star Trek did. It didn't introduce too many aliens. I mean, the real only alien that we've seen in there were the bugs.
And the bugs were the bugs were freaking gnarly too. And the bugs were something out of a fucking horror movie, dude. They were gnarly.
Gory. It was extremely gory.
No, what I love about it is it starts off the movie starts off and you meet like our main characters, which is actually really cool. Actually, if you go back and rewatch it, it's really fascinating because it first starts off and it's like somebody is like on a computer and they're scanning news reports. It starts off with like, "Do you want to know more?" And it's like there's those like it's like a news report, and the first news report they watch is actually about Big K, Clendathu, and you literally watch Rico from the news, and you don't know who it is yet, get almost killed. You see all these people getting killed, and you see that, and then it flashes back to our 3 main heroes, or 4 actually. You meet Rico, you meet his buddy, played by Neil Patrick Harris. God, what the fuck is his name?
Is Carl Jenkins.
Carl Jenkins?
Yeah. Is Neil
Carl
Patrick
Jenkins.
Harris.
Yeah, Carl Jenkins, Rico, Ibanez, and Flores.
Dizzy Flores.
Think of it this way: it was like sci-fi meets Saved by the Bell, almost. If you think about
pretty much, yeah.
It is like sci-fi meets Saved by the Bell, but there's that first, and a lot of people like to blow past the early years, but I like it because when they're in school, you really get a sense of, first of all, Neil Patrick Harris is psychic. Like that, a very good scene where he looks at his ferret and he's like, "Go bug mom." He literally implants an image that there's a grub on his mom's leg.
Yeah.
So you get this world that is actually sci-fi, that humans have evolved to psychic abilities. You also get the idea of how the world actually works when the teacher, Mr. Rackjack, is actually talking about what it is to be a civilian and what it is to be
a citizen.
Yeah.
And to be a citizen, you have to do military service. And not only do you have to do military service, but there's certain in this world, and this is what the book goes into. So fun fact for all the nerds out there, in the book, it goes more into the perks of being a citizen. Like in this world, you can't have kids unless you're a citizen.
Yeah.
You can't go into politics unless you're a citizen. You can't go into military, like any kind of military job or a government job unless you've been a citizen. So if you don't
have
do
to be in the
citizen,
military.
basically, yeah.
At one point of your life, you had to have served. So
You either do military service, or you pretty much work as somebody who supplies food or clothing or anything like that.
You're flipping burgers your whole life.
Well, no, because Rico's dad is extremely wealthy and he is a civilian. He's not a citizen.
Right. Yeah, that's right. They actually are doing pretty good. But yeah, they go on through the first part of the movie. They're young. Banez, he has his girlfriend, his slut ass.
No, she's not a slut. She's just a fucking stuck up cunt.
I'm just being angry. I'm just being angry. She's a stuck up bitch.
Oh no, I'm angry at her too. But like that's the drama.
It's young love
is
what I'm trying to say.
It is young love, and that's the thing is like she's the reason why Rico joins the military in the first place, because she wants to be a pilot, yada yada yada, and he's like, fuck it, I'll go in the military with you, and like, but he ends up getting fucking grunt infantry.
Yep.
Fucking his buddy Carl gets fucking military intelligence, and she gets pilot. Or fleet, as it's called.
So he gets the NASA position.
Don't get me wrong. A grunt is a great position in this world. I like it, though. So what happens is they all join up. They decide to leave, and of course, Rico's dad hates the fact that he wants to join the military, and that's the whole premise in it as well.
He's doing it because he wants to impress his girlfriend and be with her and all that shit. But go on.
So you fast forward. Rico's now in basic, and you meet his drill sergeant. You meet all of his squad mates and all this, and it's like I said, it is the most hardcore badass boot camp. And during basic training, in walks Flores. Flores walks up and is like, and she gets transferred, and she is actually in love with Rico. It's like this whole triangle love.
When did the girlfriend break up with Rico? I can't. That was during high school.
She broke up with him while he was in basic.
Ah, okay, go on then.
Yeah. So she shows up. That's some drama. You got his best friend, Ace, his new best friend, and you got Hernandez, who's this dude, and Rico is just. I mean, he's alpha male, dude. The guy that played him is like they picked the perfect military dude. He's just and he fits right in, and he's doing great. He's doing excellent. He even gets squad leader.
Great actor too.
Great actor. Yeah, great actor. Midway through his basic, his girl breaks up with him because she's like, "I want to go career, and I never really loved you," and all that shit. And she's just a fucking
fuck
cunt.
her. Fuck her.
Yeah, fuck her.
If anyone goes in the military for a girl and they do that shit to them, I hope they fucking dies horribly.
Well, not only that, but what's worse is we skipped it too because I hate that storyline so much, but. During high school, Rico plays football against another team, and on that team is another guy from high school who went to the academy too as a pilot, and he likes the Banez, and him and Banez fuck during her training. It's a whole big convoluted fuck story, but she's a whore, and I hate her. I'm not trying to be mad at this girl, but I just hate her. I hate the actress.
You can't watch the he did such a good job. You can't watch the story and get that far and go, oh, she's just doing what she's got to. No, you fucking hate that bitch. No, you can't stand.
Yeah, you hate this bitch. So then Rico is like, whatever. I'm already in this bitch, and I'm doing great. But then,
by that time he's a squad leader, and
squad leader, he's kicking ass. But then something bad happens during the training exercise. Yep, live fire exercise. Rico's squad goes up. There's a malfunction with one of the dude's helmets. He freaks out. He's like, "Don't worry, I'll fix it." He takes off the helmet. This girl calls this dude a big oaf. She falls down. She shoots this dude in the head. And the way they showed this dude's head explode was fucking great.
The gore was fucking amazing, and that's one of the things about Starship Troopers. The gore, like it's so, and it's not CG. Like they just set it up to where it looked horrible, and it was fucking great.
You see his eyes roll back, and then just the front part of his head just blow off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best part about it, which is so stupid to me, but it makes me laugh every time, is as soon as this dude's head explodes in front of Rico, he goes, medic! Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is a medic gonna do?
I still laugh about that to this day. Medic! He's like screaming. And if I remember correctly, it's like a pull away shot, like where he's looking up, right?
Yeah.
He's screaming medic, like the dude's dead. His head's gone.
Yeah, and then of course Rico feels bad. The girl who shots him, she washes out, which means she like drops out.
Yeah.
And then Rico gets punished. And great scene when they're in the office, and he's like, "Do you think you can make yourself?" But to get punished, he goes through corporal punishment, which is 10 lashes, which is basically the dude gets whipped.
Old school fucking 10 lashes, dude. And
yeah, 10 lashes. But that's another thing too, is that their medical technology was great because I'm getting a little further ahead of me. Ace, the cocky dude in the training unit, there's this great scene where he's like, "Sir, why do you need a knife in a nuke fight?" Because they're practicing throwing knives and he can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the drill sergeant's like, "Put your hand on that wall." He's like, "What, sir?" He's like, "Put your hand on that wall." And he like puts his hand and he just throws the knife right into his fucking hand.
He's like pinned to the board. It's great.
And he walks over. He's like, "He could not push a button if you disable his hand." And it's just like, but like not only that, but then like the drill sergeant also breaks another dude's arm and it heals in like 2 days. So the medical technology is like really, really advanced.
Oh yeah.
The guy whose arm he broke is the guy who got his head blown off.
Oh,
that's right.
Talk about the most unlucky guy in the military.
Because the very first day, the drill sergeant's like, "Which one of you sacks of shit thinks that you can knock me down?" And then he's like, "I guess I can, sir." And then like he walks out there, they get into a fight, and he just snaps his fucking arm, which is great because that's the scene that shows how badass Flores is. Because Flores shows up and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing here? You got transferred to this post?" She's like, "I heard it was the best." He's like, "It is the best, but what the fuck makes you think you can train here?" And then she just drops her bag, takes off her jacket, and fights him, and he chokes her ass out with his fucking knee. It's great. Fucking, I love that drill sergeant, by the way. Like, if I ever got trained by a drill sergeant, like I was in the military, but my drill sergeants weren't that badass, you know.
But still,
well, that's what I'm saying. You can't like break a soldier's arm and just have it fixed in 2 days.
Yeah.
But no. So Rico takes his lashes.
This mentally fucked him.
Yeah.
He lost a soldier. And he wasn't even out of boot yet. He lost somebody.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and he was about to wash out himself. And then as he's washing out, as he's walking away, the news report happens.
Yep.
And the bugs fucking threw an asteroid, which we later learned what bug bombs are, but they threw an asteroid at Earth and it smashed into Buenos Aires, which is where they're all from, and millions of people died.
His parents died. And
well, the most tear-jerking moment is that part where he calls his mom and dad. He's on the phone with them, and it's a telephone conference, like Skype, basically. And he's like, "Mom, Dad, I messed up." And they're like, "No, don't worry about that. Just come home. We love you." And all of a sudden, it's like, "What is that? Rain?" And all of a sudden, it just disconnects. And it's like, oh, they just got annihilated while he was on the phone with them. Then he goes back to the drill sergeant. He's like, "You already signed your 1042. You're out." And he's like, "Sir, my whole family is from Buenos Aires." And he's like, and then like the drill sergeant, again, cool ass dude.
Yep.
And again, very brief moment that you got to rewatch the movie for. When Rico goes in there to say, "I want to stay in," the captain is like, "There's no way you're gonna go see combat unless you bust yourself down to private." And that's important later. So just put a pin in that. That's important later. And then Rico is like, "My whole family's from Buenos Aires." And he's like, "Rico, is this your signature?" And the sergeant turns around and he's like, "Doesn't look like it to me," and rips it up. Rico's back in. All these fresh-faced privates are ready to go to war. And this is when we get to Big K, which is Clendathu.
Which is their first big battle, right?
Yeah, it's like the first big battle with the War of the Bugs and everything, because like now there's no longer live and let live peace. It's like, no, we gotta fucking smash them all because
we're raid motherfuckers. They're bugs when we are raid. This is it.
And you get to Clendathu, and it is just a clusterfuck of bugs. Like, first of all, everything goes wrong. So the fleet flies up to drop off the soldiers, and there's this bug plasma grenades that are flying through the air. And the pilot even says, like, "Oh, it should be random and light. Don't worry about it." But they're not random and light. This is actually, and it's funny because like, later on you see it's like two big beetles shitting.
Yeah,
fucking.
They're literally projectile shitting.
Yeah, they're stink bugs.
They look like stink bugs. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're shooting this plasma bombs up into the air, and it's not random. They know where the planes are. They're firing at the plane.
Precision accuracy.
Yeah.
Precision accuracy shitting. Which one day I wish I had to have that. You know.
They're taking out.
My ass.
They're not just taking out the small things. They're taking out the big ones that are still in space.
Yeah, they're taking out the fleet.
Yeah, they're taking fleet, so they know where that shit's at.
Yeah, I mean, one day I dream about just being able to point my ass up in the air and taking a shit and hitting a 747.
I think we all dream about that.
Reload! Give me some beans!
Give me some beans.
Reload! No, but yeah, so the first battle happens and they are just fucked. I mean, they are overwhelmed. The bugs are just ripping through people like crazy. It's a fucking awesome scene, and it ends with everybody retreating. It's a general retreat, and everybody's running back to the skivs, is what they're called, the ships that take you down to the planet. They're running back to the skivs, and the last thing you see is Rico trying to save his buddy, and Rico is just he takes a bug like beak to the thigh, and it goes right through his whole fucking leg.
I'll tell you one thing: I have never cringed as hard as I cringed at that moment.
Oh no, the best part is
it was the cameraman that he was trying to save.
It was Kagumi. It was Kagome, because it was him and Kagome. That's his name, Kagome. Watch it again. They're running back, and Kagome gets caught, and he's like, "No, Kagome, no!" And he runs up, and he like starts blasting with his shotgun, and he just starts like laying into the bug, and that's when like a bug dies in front of him, and the bug is like its last like he like pulls the martyrdom perk and like lifts up and stabs him in the leg.
Martyr, that was a good reference.
No, the best part about it is like he lifts the beak out of his leg, and you just see the giant hole in his fucking leg.
In his thigh, yeah.
And the last thing we see is him just like grunting and just firing his shotgun as a horde of bugs is coming at him.
Yep.
The next scene is Ibanez goes to like this like staging area, and she looks up John Rico, and it says he was killed in action.
Right.
And then she cries and has a little moment about like, oh my god, I've been sucking this guy's dick, but it's John Rico, so I love him. And it's like, whatever, bitch, you don't really care.
I didn't care about you till I thought you were dead. Yeah, fuck that.
And then
bitch.
it clips to him. And then it clips to him in a Coda tank, you know, and his leg is getting like surgically put back together. Again, great scene and great CGI for the time, you know.
Oh yeah, it was really cool because I remember him knocking on the window while he's in there, and he's like, "You're dead!" And they're laughing about it and having a good old time. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm dead. That's great." No one gives no fucks given about his ex-girlfriend, which I wouldn't give a fuck either. But
and that's when you get to because their whole squad got fucking annihilated, just obliterated, and fucking you get to the next scene, which is they get reassigned to a new unit, which is the fucking Roughnecks. And he knows nothing about the commander, and then in walks his badass commander with a fucking awesome robotic hand, Mr. Rackjack. And my favorite fucking part, like the technology is so cool in this world that I would voluntarily cut my hand off to have a robotic hand.
Just to be like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, like could you imagine the masturbation possibilities with a robotic arm?
If that thing malfunctions, you're gonna rip your dick off.
Yeah,
but then I just get a robot dick with throbbing piston action.
We can rebuild it. It can be harder, faster with
If you
throbbing.
build it will come.
With throbbing piston action. I like that. It almost sounds like you're one of those old school toys with like Kung Fu grip.
I got the Gambit doll with genuine piston thrusting action.
I don't think we should have bought this for you.
No, so he gets attached to Roughnecks, and then there's this big conspiracy that they think there's like intelligent life with the bugs and all this yada yada yada. And so the Roughnecks get assigned to a new planet. It's Planet P is all they call it. It was Planet P because it wasn't Clendathu. They didn't go back to Clendathu. They went to P, which is like I don't remember exactly.
It was like another planet close to it, I think.
But during that time when he's with the Roughnecks, they talk about like how many fucking places got destroyed, like Zagamad Beach, the Outer Rims. All these places have been getting destroyed by bugs. So in essence, the bugs are kicking the shit out of us.
Oh yeah, this is just bad.
So they go to Planet P, and they are looking for a new type of bug. That's all they're kind of told. And it's just the Roughnecks, so it's not a whole army. It's a whole. And then what they're doing is they're going to an outpost, outpost Ticonderoga, and they're doing a rescue mission. And so that's all it is. So they think it's just a rescue mission. During the walk up to Ticonderoga, fucking there's that cool beetle that shoots fucking lava out of his brain.
Oh yeah.
And Rico jumps on his back and like shoots the hole in and throws a grenade in and shit like that.
You forget, there was that one part where he shoots the lava and it gets on that one dude's arm, and there's that epic melting scene.
Yeah, that's like the squad leader. She gets her arm melted off.
Yeah, it like melts and it looks fucking realistic. I mean, at least I remember it to be. And
yeah, it was like fatality.
Yeah, very much so. It wasn't like CG.
Flawless victory.
Yeah.
No, yeah. And so like Rico kills the big beetle bug with a grenade, and then like Rackjack's like, "Wow, that was some pretty sweet moves."
It was a nuclear grenade, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a nuke grenade, and he was like, "Where'd you learn those moves?" He's like, football, sir. Remember, I was the captain of the team. And he's like, well, Rico, you're the new squad leader until you're dead or I find somebody better. And what a great fucking line to say to somebody. Yeah. Like, I want to say this to my girlfriend. You're my girlfriend until you die or I find somebody better. Like,
actually, I never thought to use that line like that, but that works.
And then there's that cool, and then so they're marching, and then they make post for the night, and this is one of the best scenes in the whole movie. They finally make post
because of the party,
scene, and finally fucking Rico fucks the shit out of Flores. And I'll be honest, man, and this may be where my redheaded fetish started kicking in, but when he should have been banging Flores from day one. I would have been. She had a nicer body.
She had a nicer body for one.
She had a nicer body. She was more badass. She was more independent. She was stronger. She
wasn't a fucking bitch like his ex was. Oh
no, yeah, this girl was fucking the shit. And it was cool too because Rackjack was even like, Rico, you wanted some advice? Can I give you some now? And he was like, yes, sir. And he's like, never pass up on a good thing. He basically in a very polite way was like, dude, go fuck that bitch.
Yeah, go bang the shit out of her, pretty much is what he said. And then he said, be ready at like a certain time. And then something like that happened, right? He said, be ready.
Yeah. He's like, be ready. And then he saw that he's like, Flores is here with him. And he's like, make that 20 minutes.
Yeah, make that 20 minutes.
And then, then they finally get to the base. It's Ticonderoga, and everybody is just fucking wiped out. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
No, the base is
Whiskey Outpost.
Whiskey Outpost,
yeah. And everybody's fucking dead. Like, everybody's just annihilated. And then they find this weird corpse with a giant hole in his fucking skull, and his brain is gone.
And he was the radio controller.
Yeah, he was the radio controller. And then they find what is it, like a captain or something, like an officer who's hiding in the fucking
general.
like, locker.
He was hiding in a locker like a bitch.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and he's like, you're all going to get rewarded. And he's losing his mind. And he's like, they get into your brain. They control us. They want to think. They want to know us so they can kill us. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yep. And then the shit hits the fan. They look over the railing of this base, and my god, the amount of bugs that are coming, and not just like crawling.
They're shooting over the wall, and this is a giant wall, and they're shooting over the wall, and the bugs are crawling over the corpses of the dead bugs to get over it.
Yeah,
and there's the flyers that are taking the guys in the tower's heads off.
Yep.
Oh, the decapitation scene was fucking great. Oh, good.
It was about as good as the bullet to the head scene in the boot camp. Yeah.
Right. So they call down. They finally call for extraction. They get a crazy pilot to fly down on the base.
Earlier in the movie, everyone made a pact if something like that happened. Actually, something happened.
Rackjack sent out a scout ahead. He got picked up by one of the flyers, got taken up to a nest. So Rackjack called for their sniper, took his rifle, zoomed all the way in on the dude, and put one right in his chest. I expect anyone to do the same for me.
Yep, and that's pretty much where that came in.
Yeah. And they're all leaving. And as they leave, the floor caves in, and Rackjack gets sucked into the floor, and Rico pulls him up, and he's missing both legs.
Yep.
And he just looks at Rico. It's like, Rico, you know what to do. And Rico's like, fuck it. And he like shoots him right in the fucking chest. And they're all escaping, and wouldn't you know it, because fucking movies had to do this. And this was the most heartbreaking scene. Fucking Flores throws a grenade. The bug eats it, blows up the bug's brain. She's celebrating, and she starts running to the thing. And as she's running, she gets 4 stabs in the fucking chest.
Yep.
And then Rico saves her. Yeah. And then Rico saves her, pulls her into the thing, and she has this like dying scene where she's like, Johnny, I'm dying. I
remember all the blood coming out of her mouth.
Oh man, it was so brutal.
Don't they make out? Like, doesn't he kiss her?
Yeah, and tells her he loves her and shit like that. And she's like, it's not a bad death because I got to have you. Oh,
it was sad.
So touching and so
talk about a way to leave a guy with blue balls, right?
Yeah. Well, at least he got some. Better than he could say about his ex.
I mean, to be honest, that bug did him a favor and created 4 new holes. I would have fucked all 4 holes.
She's so hot, I'd agree.
But no, she dies. They go up there, and in comes Carl. And he's like a colonel at this point, and was like, it was a trap, wasn't it? And he was like, yes, it was. And it shows that the bugs have intelligence. And he's like, you set us up. And he's like, and there's like the moment where he's like, look, I'm intelligent. I have to make decisions every day that sends hundreds of people to your death. It's simple numbers, people. They have more. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
well, you're missing one of the major parts of that whole section of the movie.
What's that?
That crazy pilot was his ex-girlfriend.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
He did mention a crazy pilot. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Abanez who comes down and saves them, and so and she's with him while he's saying all this, and he's like, "Well, we're going back to P," and that's why I keep calling it Planet P, because he says that we're going back to P. We're going to try to capture a brain bug, which is like some sort of smart bug that they're looking for.
I think they even say that. Was it some sort of smart bug?
Some sort of smart bug that nobody's ever seen.
So they go back down, and Rico is now in charge of the unit. Now it's Rico's Roughnecks. He gets a bunch of new squad mates, and the mission starts. And during the mission, fucking Abana's whole fucking fleet, her ship goes down, and she gets into an escape pod and goes down to the planet and calls for help.
Well, you
and
forget
Rico's like,
she's
"We
with
gotta go
Loverboy.
she's with Loverboy.
Yeah.
The guy that she left Rico for, the guy that did, that like we mentioned earlier in the podcast, the guy that he was his rival in football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
So they both basically crash land on this planet.
And yeah, they crash land, and they're in the bug tunnels, and they get captured by the bugs, like actually captured, which is like serious intelligence. And then they're like presented, and in comes the brain bug.
Yeah.
Creepiest
The brain bug is
looking
like
fucking thing.
Oh my god, this thing was, and it was being carried by like little cockroaches. It was so creepy. And then its little mouth pussy.
Yeah,
You know?
that's what it is. It's a mouth pussy. I'm glad I'm not the only
It looks
one.
like it looks like a diseased pussy, and then out comes a fucking like dick with a fucking knife on the end of it, and it sucks out Loverboy's brain.
And you can see
know,
it going through the straw.
Oh, it's so gnarly, and the way his face like goes like all skeleton and like
in, yeah.
It's so brutal. It's
Like,
so fucking
just
brutal.
sitting here imagining that, I'm cringing. It was so bad.
Yeah, it's
The brutality in this movie for the time was amazing. I think it was a B-rate movie. They didn't put much into it. They didn't think it was going to go far. But it turned.
no, I don't think so either.
But they didn't put, but for what they put into
Casper
it.
Van Dien. That's Rico's name. Casper Van Dien.
There you
That's
go.
the actor.
There you go, Casper
It's
Van.
bugging me all day. It was like a sliver of my fucking brain. God damn, I have too many nerd facts in my brain.
Yeah,
Anyways.
the gore in this is very impressive.
Yeah, so Rico, Ace show up to save them, and he sees the bug. The bug retreats.
Well, you
They get
forget they're there for another reason. They're there for recon. They're gonna do something. They're gonna plant a bomb or something. And then Rico basically, Carl basically magically puts something in his head and tells him where she's at.
Yeah.
And he uses the force more or less.
Well, he's a telepath. As a matter of fact, there's a line in the very beginning of the movie. He's talking to Carl, and he's like, and after he puts Cyrano to go bug Mom, and he goes, I hope you never do that to me. And he goes, oh, don't worry, I can't do humans yet.
He basically gives this emergency message to Rico, and Rico pulls off from his group. He says, "You guys do what you got to do. I'm gonna anyone who's got the balls to come with me, come with me." And it was like what, 2 people? Was Buddy and that?
Yeah.
2 people. It was Ace and that Mexican dude who I can't remember his name, but he has the best death.
It was Sugar Watkins.
Was it?
Thank you. Yeah, Watkins.
His name is Seth Gilliam. Sugar Watkins.
Was it?
Thank you. Yeah, Watkins.
His name is Seth Gilliam.
But no, Watkins has the best testing, because like Rico's talking to the brain bug. He's like, you know what this is? It's a new, whatever. He's like
he
like
does his hand like it's exploding.
Yeah. He's like pantomiming. But then the brain bug gets away, and they're retreating, and Watkins gets hurt, and then he grabs the nuke, and he's like, get out of here, sir. And he's like, Watkins, you trying to be a hero? I just want to kill some bugs, sir. And it's just fucking a great fucking line. He's holding the nuke, and he's just fucking like, get some.
Yeah. Like
And
a fucking pimp, dude.
Like he's just if I ever have to die, I hope I am. Well, we all die, but if I die, I hope I'm holding a nuke, screaming, "Get some!" while just mowing down bugs, dude.
Saving the lives of your friends.
Yeah, and then the they explode and they get out, and as they get out, everybody's cheering and celebrating. We're like, "What the fuck? What's going on?" And they run over and like, "We caught the bug!" And it's Zed. And you're like, who the fuck is Zed? And then you look over, and it's the fucking drill sergeant as a private. He did. Yep. He busted himself down just so he'd go back to the war. That's how badass this dude is.
Yep.
He started out as Sergeant Clarence J. Brown III.
Wow.
Oh, wait, no, that's his actual name. Never mind, I'm an idiot.
Either way, the guy went back. He busted himself down. And he he captures the bug, and Neil Patrick Harris is Carl. He walks over, puts his hand on the bug pussy, and he's like, "It's afraid," and they're like, "It's afraid," and everybody cheers, and it's like they're all happy. It's scared. How's it feel, bitch? Yeah.
how's it feel, motherfucker? And the movie ends, and it ends with like a recruitment video, and it's like, do you want to know more? And that's how the movie ends. And the fucking movie was so fucking good. Like, I watched it. I routinely watch that at least once a year. I'm probably gonna watch it tonight because, god damn it, it's such a fucking good movie.
I'm gonna watch it when
Yeah.
we're done.
Honestly,
I'm hyped.
when you talk nerd boners on a movie, it's a solid, like, okay, when I was a teenager, it was a 10.
When I was a teen, it was a 10 too.
Looking back on it now, it's still a solid like 8.5 for me.
I'd still give it a 9, dude. It's still that good. The storytelling. What about you, Grizz?
Definitely, it'd be an 8, 9. Google it's rated as a 7.2.
What the fuck does Google know?
Rotten Tomatoes has rated it a 63%.
But the storytelling is still good to this day. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
For that movie.
Oh, well, it's great. It's got almost everything I want in a movie. It's got action, it's got love, it's got tragedy, it's got life, it's got fucking titties, like
gore.
It's got man ass. It's got
man ass.
Like it's got man ass. It's okay for the ladies out there. It's got some delicious eye candy because the men are all ripped and all of them got bubble butts. Like I'm not saying that I was really staring, but those guys got some nice poopers. That's all I'm saying.
You were staring, and then the sequel came out. Let's briefly talk about the sequel.
So I wasn't super hyped about the sequel, so I can really run over it real fast.
Yeah, it's
a secondary squad. And they're on a distant military base on a distant planet, and the premise of the story is that it's this lonely squad. It's a new type of bug that not only infects you, but then it takes you over.
It's almost like Body Snatchers kind of thing.
It's very much a Body Snatchers thing. It was way terrible. It was. I wouldn't even call it a B movie. It was like a C+ movie.
Yeah.
The CGI was terrible. The graphics were terrible. The acting was just straight terrible.
The other big thing that got critics just going ape shit over it was that all the officers in intelligence, they were all wearing Nazi uniforms.
Yeah.
Well, and that's it. And honestly, it's like the officers in the first one, when you really watch, like when Carl and all that, when he's on the ship and when he comes back down to the planet, they do have very much like an SS feel to their uniforms.
Yeah.
Like if you really go back and watch the first one, like they have like the SS hat, they have the long black leather trench coat, they're wearing like the black boots. It's very SS like. It is a little creepy, and you're like, wow, that's very Nazi-ish.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not terrible.
Apparently, the person that was considered first for the lead role of Johnny Rico was Mark Wahlberg. I could see him doing the role, but I just don't know because, I mean, the guy that did it was just so good.
You got to remember, Marky Mark back in the day didn't have the acting chops he has now. And then, of course, we've also seen him in movies where he doesn't have any acting chops at all.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen him in some
true.
really good movies. But then again, you know, we've seen him in Transformers. Ugh.
Okay, so everybody knows the shower scene from the movie, right? You got the guys and the girls all, butt naked in the shower. Well, apparently the cast would not do that scene unless the director and everybody that was there behind the scenes, for that shot, were also naked.
Wouldn't that make you feel better about that scene, though? I mean, like, I think if I had to do a scene naked, I would feel better if everyone else was naked, too.
Yeah.
That would make me feel a lot better.
That's true.
Yeah. So getting back to the second movie, we stopped at where, basically they're at this outpost, and the bugs are different in this one. In fact, you barely see any regular sized bugs. They're all like bugs that crawl inside you and control you, and that's fucking, you know what? That's a good concept. They could have done something if they rolled with that the right way, but it turned out to be kind of a shitty movie.
Yeah, no, it was so terrible that I watched it once and I was like, well, I never have to watch this again. I watched the original Starship Troopers like I said, I watch it at least once every 4 months. And the second and third one, I've barely watched. I watched the third one more than I watched the second one just because Rico comes back.
Yeah, that's the one where he dies on the rooftop, right? Where he dies shooting on all those bugs and everyone gets away.
Yeah.
Well, we think he
like
dies at least. Yeah, there are 6
there
movies.
is Starship Troopers, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Starship Trooper 2, Hero of the Federation.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers 3, Marauder, which came out in 2008.
Okay.
The first animated one, completely CGI, 2012, Starship Troopers Invasion.
Okay.
The second CGI was Starship Troopers Traitor of Mars.
That was the 2017 one.
And that was a spin-off of the 1999 animated series Roughnecks, the Starship Troopers Chronicle.
Yeah, they start introducing. I don't know if they introduced it in that, or one of the actual live action movies. But they get in a mech. They get in this like mech with huge ass cannons on it. It's fucking amazing. It looks cool. But it doesn't make the movie any better.
No, yeah, the second and third were just not as
Yeah.
good. The third was better. The only thing I really remember of the third was there was a bug the size of a fucking planet. Like, and I'm not even joking. Like, he wasn't that big, but he was fucking huge.
Yeah, it was a huge bug.
Well, on a lighter note, there is a Starship Troopers TV show in development,
I heard about that.
and Neil Patrick Harris will reprise his role as Carl Jenkins.
Does he look hella young?
The producer of Goosebumps, Neil Moritz, probably going to be producing it.
Who's going to pick it up? Is it going to be Netflix?
Does not say. Just says it's going to be a TV series.
Okay, well that could be good. I don't know if we want to go through all these movies, guys. These some of these movies were just bad. I really don't want to remember Starship Troopers in a bad light.
No, yeah, the other one's just like I said. The third one's okay. If the third one was the first one and the first one was the second one, that would be a better, like, kind of almost a better way to do it in a way. I don't know.
Almost Like an Aliens kind of thing. Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, the first one was the first one, and that's why it was so amazing. And it was a very good fucking movie. And the third one, yeah, we had an older Rico, and if I remember correctly, he was kind of like this reject guy that didn't want to.
He was actually in the start. In the start of the third one, he got like a reprieve from an execution because like he fucked up, and they kind of go into it. Like I said, I didn't watch it a lot. He was going to be discharged and executed, and this was like his redemption mission, basically.
Yeah.
So he fucked up somewhere along the lines and was like busted and all this stuff. Like, I don't know what was, and that kind of that's another part that put a sour taste in my mouth because like Rico was like the ultimate soldier, and to say that he becomes like this renegade is just like I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about that. That doesn't really fit with the logical progression of this man's personality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it didn't feel like it should have been how he ended up. You know, you'd expect that guy to be like either dead or extremely older and fucking training people to be badass, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's what they would have done with the third one. That would have been badass. Like, we're gonna have this dangerous mission. We're gonna look for a new bug that's like the size of a skyscraper. We need the most badass soldier, John Rico. What up, apes? You want to live forever? And like that would have been the shit. But instead, they made him like this outcast renegade style, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
The end of it was good. Like
the end of it was real good.
Yeah, he went out like a freaking boss, but come to find out he didn't die. I didn't see the.
Yeah, because he's in the. I think he's in the animated series or whatever. Like,
yeah, no, he was definitely in the 2017 one that came out recently. Movies that did bring movies like that down, I kind of go, they don't exist, you know, because like
yeah,
I said,
you just want to forget them.
You want to forget them because you want to have these movies that, especially that like represents your youth in a good light. So any movie that's like, oh yeah, this is Starship Troopers 6 and it sucks, and you're like, oh okay, well then Starship Troopers 2 through 6 didn't happen, you know, because you don't want to remember that. I much rather. Again, it comes back to Ghostbusters. The new one, the 2016, 17.
Still haven't watched it. Up top, air high five.
Me neither.
Hell yeah,
Me
air high
neither.
five. Not giving those fuckers my money.
Nope.
Which, by the way,
Got
speaking of that, they're talking about making a Netflix series of Ghostbusters.
Really?
Written by Dan Aykroyd. It don't matter if it's guys or girls as long as it's not based off of that story. And Dan Aykroyd does it right and does what he wants to do, because it was an atrocious movie, and that's a clear case of Hollywood not listening to the fans and doing what they want to fucking do. But getting off topic, you guys want to continue on with this? Because I don't know if I want to go any further with the downfall of Johnny Rico. It's almost like watching John Wayne.
No, that's good. That's my coverage.
So I think we're good on that. The first movie is amazing. The second movie is mad. The third movie is I can deal with it. And then from then on out, it's just a big fist in the butthole.
Giant fist in the butthole. Oh
Giant,
yeah. No
yes.
lube too.
No lube.
They don't even like angry duck to fist. They just straight fist.
And they don't even sweet talk you. They just get fucking fisted. So I got a review. I watched a movie today. It's gonna be a spoiler-free review. It's you guys already know what I watched. I watched Thor Ragnarok, and I know it's been out for 3 weeks. Big deal. I'm gonna go ahead and give you my nerd boners. 10. It's a 10. I don't give 10s to lightly. It's a very good movie. I want to say this, and I don't even like Thor as a character. Thor, I know Gambit knows, I know Grizzly knows, I can't stand Thor. He's a stolen concept. It's just fucking
you.
stupid. It's like Disney grabbed a hold of Thor and coddled it and petted it and called upon Satan to make it good. And they did a good job. The humor is there. By the way, guys, the Hulk actually talks. This is a movie where the Hulk actually converses. You know, of course he's like, me, Hulk, blah, or, you know, he talks broken English because he's still the Hulk. But he talks. And it's fucking hilarious. And there's one scene where, there's a part where the Hulk is fighting Thor in an arena. But there's a point where they're fighting in the arena and Loki's there with them. Watching this battle. What's happening is Thor is trying to get through to Hulk and say, hey, remember me, man? I'm your friend. And he has his hand out, and it looks like they're actually going to bond, and instead Hulk grabs him. And you remember in the first movie where Hulk beats the shit out of Loki and, you know, dumb god or whatever he says, puny god. Yeah, he does that with Thor, and the whole time Loki's pointing, oh, that's what it fucking feels like!
Okay, that's great.
He's laughing. He goes, "That's how it feels." It's just fucking great, dude. But there's that. It's that kind of humor throughout the whole thing. Thor isn't this almighty badass that, you know, they're trying to make him out for. He's kind of goofy in the movies, but in this one, like he's doing shit and just bad shit happens to him. Like he's trying to break a window and he throws this big bouncing ball. I want to say it's like a big dodgeball kind of looking thing at the window to break it. And instead of it breaking, it cracks it, bounces off, and hits him square in the head. It's a very good movie. I went in with like low expectation. I went in going, yeah, you know, and it's a Thor movie. It's not going to be very good. And walked out going, holy shit, that was a Thor movie. And it was pretty good. That was very good. Very impressed with it. So
what's cringeworthy about it is the fact that Stan Lee and Marvel did enough research into the mythology that they get so much right, and then to skew it so far off, it's almost an insult to us, because it could have been a great way to show people the Norse and Scandinavian culture and lifestyle and religion, and instead they do it in a comic book setting. Now they do the same thing. Now DC is guilty of this as well with Greek mythology, with Wonder Woman, and that's fine. It's almost as if they believed, which is true to a degree. It's almost like Marvel just believed that this was a dead religion, and it's not. It's a very well thriving religion. It's a very point in Iceland. In Iceland, it's the major religion, actually, believe it or not. Like you said, like you like Chris Hemsworth. That's the actor, right? Chris Hemsworth plays it.
Yeah.
And I do believe that he plays a great Thor, but making him goofy almost is like not like he's the protector of Midgard. That's what he does. He protects us all. And again, not trying to get into it, not trying to preach. It is a thing for me. And I like I said, but I don't want to get negative. I don't want to get negative because I do, and I have, and I still to this day very much enjoyed the first Thor movie. I very much enjoyed Tom Hiddleston as Loki, as a great Loki. He definitely literally looks like the guy, like when you read the Poetic Edda, he looks like the description of Loki. They do a lot of great things. And they have a lot of the good gods, and Asgard is gorgeous. The way they film Asgard and the Bifrost, also known as the Rainbow Bridge, you know, is beautiful. And they talk about the 9 realms, and they talk about Yggdrasil, which is the tree of life. They do a lot of good things.
Well, there's another one of the scenes that's funny because, you know that Stan Lee is always a cameo in these movies. And the cameo he makes in this one, he's the guy who cuts Thor's hair.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. It's fucking hilarious.
One of the things that like irks me is like Thor is actually a redhead. In the Scandinavian mythology, he's actually a redhead, believe it or not.
If you guys haven't seen the movie, I suggest seeing it. It's definitely a 10 out of 10. Very entertaining, very fun to watch. It's a lot. You'll get a lot of laughs. There's a lot of laughs. Disney grabs a hold of these things and just like they just know what to do. And it's got a very 80s, like the way they advertised it was very 80s-esque. The movie starts off a few minutes in. It starts off with that Led Zeppelin song that talks about. Oh,
nice.
Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about.
I'm super excited to see it. I'm actually more excited about seeing Ragnarok than I am excited about seeing fucking Justice League.
Well, I'm seeing that next week too. So
I've heard okay things about Justice League, but we'll see.
What about you, Grizz? What do you think about Justice League?
I have not watched it yet, but I've heard from several people who watched Batman vs Superman Did not like that, but thought Justice League was freaking awesome.
But okay, on that note, guys, I think we're done. We hope you enjoyed episode 71. Any you gentlemen have anything to say before we leave?
Just as always, stay sexy and keep being nerdy.
I know I have been active on Facebook, Twitter, our new chat system, which is actually I just got on tonight. Said hello to everybody. I'm back though. Like I said in the thing, I said it in the chat. I said it on here. I'm back. It's for me. It's gonna be a slow return back. You guys might not see me as often as you guys like. I definitely missed you guys. I definitely missed ranting about it. I hope you guys missed hearing my annoyingly sexy voice. But we'll get back to it as hardcore as I can. I can't make any promises just yet, but I definitely will. I definitely will and am back. So hopefully more great things to come.
Guys, stay tuned. We have some interesting things coming up in the future. I guarantee things that you will like. Thanks for listening as always, and we'll see you next week on episode 72. Stay sexy.
Always.
Peace.